What's up, guys? It's your boy Mel back with another video. Okay, I'm back. I'm back again with my best album of 2020 list, part two. I did the part one, but I wanted it to be like a long-winded video, so I cut it short. So I'm gonna do a part one and part two. But I think for the worst album of the year list, I'm not. It's gonna be a whole one video because I'm not gonna make it a two-part video because it's not gonna be a long list. Because I feel like for a year like this, there was a lot of good albums that came out. So in the last list I did five. I did After Hours by The Weeknd, Chloe Halle Ungodly Hour, Future Nostalgia by Dua Lipa. If it was good, so it wasn't by Kalani, and Chilombo by Jhené Aiko. So now for this one, a lot of people I want to talk about on this list. So let's get into it. Let's go fast. So the first album I want to talk about that made this list too, adding onto my list as number six. And I'm not doing this in order, but I'm just doing it by just whatever comes to my head. I'm doing it that way. So I'm not doing it by like order. So y'all don't think it's my order, but this is just what I'm You get it, you get it. So Pop Smoke, Shoot for the Stars, Aim for the Moon. Very good album. With Pop Smoke, when I first heard who he was, I was like, all right, I like him, Baby Girl, Welcome to the Party. I'm from Rhode Island, I'm from Providence. So, in Providence, they like to capitalize off of New York sound. They like that New York drill sound, that whole way of New York rapping. They like New York and Atlanta rapping. Down here, right here, they ain't really into California type of rapping or like the West Side type of rapping. They're into like the East, New York and Atlanta stuff. They like that type of music. They don't really like here. They like the Little Babies. They like the Little Babies. The Roddy Ricch. Well, Roddy Ricch is from California, but Roddy Ricch try to be current. But they like the Little Babies, the Babies, the Pop Smokes. Like they like rappers like that. What's the other child's name? What's his name? Fabio Foreign, Chef G, and Polo G. All these people, they like that type of music. So yeah. So Shoot for the Stars, Aim for the Moon. So at first time I was like, I like him. I like this little drill New York sound. It's cute. It's like a modern Pop Smoke. I mean, a modern Pop Smoke. A modern. He's like a modern day 50 Cent. But then after after listening to him for like a couple of months, I'm just like, it's the same old drill sound over and over and over, the same New York, Brooklyn drill sound over and over and over again. Can this man switch up his sound? And then, so sad that he took his life, where right when he was about to, hit the mainstream things of, things of that nature, they took his life short, which is so sad, and rest in peace to him. But after hearing this album that 50 Cent helped to work on, and after hearing, I was like, let me see what Pop Smoke, because if I was like, if rest in peace to him. If I hear a whole album full of drill music, then I'm gonna just be like, he's a drill artist. He's the king of drill music. And that's it, and he is. But but Pop Smoke really surprised me with this album. Like, and I don't mean to dwell on albums for a long time because I have a lot of albums to try to fit in here, but he really surprised me because this album was, and that's why it hurt me more that he's dead now, because I'm just like, damn, like this man has so much talent in him. Yeah, I even heard he was even going to acting, and that movie supposed to come out in March of 2021, of him acting in it. So that's, he had a lot of talent. And he was the boss of a lot of his own stuff he was doing. So, but when I heard this album, I was just like, wow, he has different sounds. Like, I was just like, it ain't too much of the drill music. Like, yeah, he has that drill New York sound there, but he has songs like Shorty My Little Baddie, like very like pop, but I mean very hip hop and very New York, but it has that R&B. Excuse me, guys. Have a little R&B effect to it. Shorty My Little Baddie. He was over here singing, he had a little TJ on that album, Little Baby, The Baby, Roddy Ricch. Even She Wanna With the Woo. Even though that's a little New York sound to it, that was very nice. I like how he was singing on this album. Y'all know I'm into pop and R&B like that. Like I grew up on gospel and R&B, but I love pop music and I love like when people sing. And I love when rappers and R&B artists tried new things. So I was really here for all of that he was bringing to the table with this album. And he has songs like What You Know About Love. Like he sampled My Whole Life Has Changed. He sampled Genuine Differences. And then he sampled Into You by Tamia. I take you on a shopping spree, 'cause I'm so into you. You are something special. Like he had a lot of like good songs. Even the song with Karol G was really dope too. What was that song called? Oh, Karol G. Enjoy Yourself, a really good song too. This whole album was a really well put together album. People said like they felt like it was rushed, but a lot of people did like this album. I think it was one of the best albums that came out this year, one of my favorites. So I had to put that in there. I feel like he really surprised me when he had different type of sounding. He even had a Latin artist on his album. I was just like, yeah, he could switch it up. He could be different. And it's so sad that he's gone. He's not here with us today. Sorry, I took like 4 minutes to talk about Pop Smoke, but Pop Smoke deserved that kind of recognition. Like I said before, my first video I did of this, I talked about 5 different albums. So, let me get the hip hop albums out of the way first. Juice World, Juice World, Legends Never Die. Juice World, Legends Never Die. Very good album as well. He could tell, he was so talented. Like, I'm really just, I'm so, his death really hurt me too. I remember that day when I heard about it, I was so sad because I was just like, yo, he's really talented. And he had a lot in him that he could, share with the world and stuff like that. Hold on, I'm trying to take a shortcut and it's still giving me the smoke fest. Well, yeah, Legend Never Died, the album by Juice WRLD. I think Juice WRLD did a good job with this album. Very great. Wish Him Well was a great song, and I feel like he has some couple of rock songs on this album too. It sounded like a little rock and pop, but it's very much hip hop. And he sings, he kind of flows a little bit. Like he's a great artist, and this album was an album that was well received by his fans. And one of the biggest hip hop debut albums this year that came out. Debut in like a week is really saw a lot, and his fans really miss him. And rest in peace to him. He put his heart and soul to this album too. And it was oh my god, I just exited it out. Oh my god, you about to hear NBA, child. But let me put the phone down. But Juice WRLD did his stuff with that album, and he's somebody who really, you could tell that he really cared about his craft, and he's really into like trying to build his artistry up, and he could tell that he really took his artistry very serious. So I don't play when it comes to Juice WRLD. Like I really respect who he is as an artist and what he really brought to the table. And it's so sad that his life was taken away early too. Well, he kind of did some things that he took his own life away a little bit, if you ask me. But too bad that he his life was short, because he really had a lot in him that the world needed to hear. Sorry guys for that 1 minute. I had to get this fixed up. So shout out to Juice WRLD. Lil Baby, My Turn, another great album as well. Lil Baby did his thing on that album. Not my favorite type of album, but the reason I'm giving Lil Baby this credit is because I feel like this is Lil Baby had a couple of albums out, but I feel like this is the album where everybody started to respect Lil Baby more and put more respect on his name, and really know that like Lil Baby could really rap. And I think he's a great rapper, and people are saying he's the new Drake, which I don't think he is. But I feel like this album was really eye-opening for people to really take Lil Baby serious and know that he's a force to be reckoned with. And I feel like with this album, it kind of put him to new heights in his career as well. This is the album that really motivated him. Captivated him and pushed him up to new heights and really made the industry take him more and more serious. Even though he had hits like Jib Too Hard and That's My Dog and songs like that, and Close Friends, songs that a brand new whip got no keys, songs like that. Yes Indeed with Drake, like people knew who he was before, but this album kind of just had him just more so big and more mainstream. And I felt like it was a great album. Like he put his heart and soul into this album too. He worked really hard, had a lot of great songs, had songs for the streets, but had songs for the radio, and had songs for people who and I like how he did that whole song, the Black Lives Matter song that he did. I forgot what it's called, but he ate that up too, and he did a good job with that. And I just love how he's just been promoting himself. He had the Billboard Music Awards performance. He had a BET Awards performance. Wait, did he perform the BET or am I tripping? Was it just the Baby and Lil Baby, and Roddy Ricch, or he performed too? I don't know, but he had a couple performances this year. He promoted this album really well. And he did his thing with this album, and a lot of good songs. And the streets love his album. The streets love Lil Baby, so shout out to Lil Baby. And the album was dope though. It wasn't my cup of tea, but it was dope. Not everything can be my cup of tea, but if an album's really dope and I feel like somebody really put their heart and soul into that album, I'm gonna give them credit. So shout out to Lil Baby on that album. Let's do this fast because we got a lot of albums to get to. Chromatica. Let us talk. Chromatica, Chromatica, Chromatica. My biggest enemy is me, Papa 911. My biggest enemy is me, Papa 911. Lady Gaga and Chromatica? Yeah, I was so happy when Gaga, was like, yo, this album is like a house, dance, pop, funk, disco type of album. Like, I'm bringing like the pop and the house back. I'm bringing like 2010 and 2011 back. I'm bringing Bad Romance and Born This Way era back. And she really did that really well. I feel like this was a really great album. When I first heard it, I was like, it's okay. But listening to the whole album like over and over, like after like 2 weeks, it grew on me. Like I was liking every song on this album. From Rain on Me in the video with Ariana Grande. This is a great powerhouse pop sensation video. And we will get into that more when I talk about my favorite songs that came out this year. The 911 video was really good. Stupid Love was good. A lot of the promotion for this album was really good too. The VMA performance, everything was so pink and purple and just so like, ooh, it was just so poppy and just so like, come on Gaga with the purple. I know that's right, Gaga. Loved this album though. Loved Alice. Hold on. I love Alice. I love Stupid Love. Like the whole album was just so good. But the only complaint I could say about this album was that I feel like Gaga could have promoted it a little bit more. I know, we had the Black Lives Matter movement going on. We had, coronavirus. We had a lot of stuff going on. So I understand, that she had to be, the act, because for a long time in Gaga's career, Gaga always speak on things she believes in. She's always been an activist. She's always been somebody who is never shy to speak on things that she believes in. She's always been like somebody who's been like a real force to be reckoned with in the industry when it comes to politics and things that really matter. So so I understand she was doing a lot of like underground work and back behind the scenes work when it came to like all the stuff that needs to be done this year. But I just felt like after the VMAs happened and after the Rain on Me and the 9/11 video happened, everything, the last part of 2020 just kind of went downhill for this album. This album has so much to promote. But I mean, we still have another year. Hopefully she can, even Zachary Campbell is a big Gaga fan. He was saying that. We still have a whole year left, so, excuse me, maybe she could probably do, maybe before May of next year, she can promote more singles. I mean, she could just forget about 911 because 911, or maybe give it more performances. I don't know, but 911 was supposed to be a big hit. It was supposed to be as big as Stupid Love and Rain on Me because those two songs were in top 10. I think Rain on Me had more longevity. And Stupid Love had probably like 1 week and Rain on Me had a couple of weeks. But, it still both did really well and still both have over 100 million views. So, people were paying attention and, Gaga fans are pretty much, they're here. They're listening. But, we could release Alice as a single. We could release Sour Candy with Blackpink. Like, where's the tea with that? Why is that song not a single yet? Like y'all could have promoted 9/11 so fast, had that out of the way, and boom, Sour Candy, dun 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 dun. Or even Enigma could be a single. Or even Babylon. Babylon was a good song, and she had Elton John on this album. This album was a really good album. Very, very much pop and very much bring back the house music, and I loved it. It's the thing that you bring, him, you and me, that's gossip. Yes, come on, Gaga. Gaga was really giving me what I wanted with this album, so I'm really happy, but I just wish it would have been promoted a little bit more after, like, the last spree of the year. I wish she would have promoted this album, the last quarter of the year, like the September, October, November, December. I wish it could have had more promotion, but maybe Gaga's doing something. Maybe she got bigger plans for next year, when things get better. I don't know. But Chromatica can't die down like that. It needs to have a revival. It needs to revive, okay? It needs like a prayer and a deliverance because it's a great album to just be slept on like that. Like, it wasn't really, because it did numbers, but I feel like it could have did a little bit more with the singles and did a promotion, but I feel like, a lot of stuff happened this year. So Gaga, was, doing her good deeds, but Gaga, we need you back. We've been a little selfish. We need you back, Gaga. Come on. But a very great album, though. One of my favorite albums this year. I love it. And hopefully it wins something at the Grammys because, she did a good job with that album. I love that album on Gaga. The next album, Victoria Monet. Before I gotta get into my girl, Victoria Monet. And congrats to her. She's pregnant. The guy who was in the Jaguar video, he was his love. He was playing the love interest and the dancer in the video. And, after that, she kind of kicked it with him, behind the scenes. And, she got pregnant. Hey, I don't believe me, Victoria. You do your thing, Victoria. But this was a great album, Victoria. You brought back R&B too. You helped Janae Aiko, Kalani, and Chloe and Halle. Like this album kind of gave me a little bit of like a Destiny's Child, a little bit of a little bit of Ciara, Destiny's Child, um, um, a little bit of Normani too. Like a lot of the stuff on this album was really like a lot of R&B influence and a little bit of pop too. I love this. I think Dive might be my favorite song. I love Dive. I loved I love the whole photo, like the whole cover photo for the Jaguar theme of the album and stuff. And she kind of compared herself to being a Jaguar, and how Jaguar is how she kind of see herself being. Oh, he was in the Movement video. Oh yeah, he was in the Movement video. And after that they kind of kicked it, and she got pregnant by him. So, cute, cute. And I love that song. He wanna know why you gotta act like that. Like that's a bop. Like that's my favorite song too. I love that song. The whole album was just so good and so monumental and so R&B and so, it gave you an early 2000s kind of vibe, but it was, very like up to date. That album in Ungodly Hours was just really so R&B, but nostalgic, but but like in the future too, kind of remind me of Dua Lipa, but in like the pop and fucking disco type of vibe. So shout out to Victoria Monet. She ate that album up. It was one of my favorite albums this year. I jam out to it like the whole summer, leading into fall and stuff like that. Yeah. Oh God, my people are calling me. Hold on one second, but yes, Victoria Monet, she ate that up. She did her thing on that. She ate that up. Y'all, that background distraction, I don't like that because y'all be interrupt my video. But hold on, we'll be right back though. Sorry guys for the distraction. This is ridiculous. Um. What else we gotta fit in here? All right. Since we're talking about Victoria, let's get into Positions by Ariana Grande. Switching my positions for you. In a minute. No, we ain't talking about Basketball Boys. But shout out to the Basketball Boys though. They're doing their thing too. But ooh, what is going on? What is going on? What is going on? Look at my house. It's cute, right? Uh, yo, what? Hold on. Switching my positions for you. Kitchen, then I'm in the bedroom. This is ghetto. Uh, uh. Boy, I'm trying to meet your mama on a Sunday and me Lila on Monday. Okay. So the Positions album came out this year. What a surprise! She kind of surprised us, gave her 2 weeks notice, and then it came out. Very good album too. When I first heard this album, I was like, this album is not that good, and I still feel like it's not my favorite album from her, but I love the fact that, like, I feel like this album, the reason why I have it in this list is not because I really like her and I want to be nice. It's because this album is one of the albums where you could appreciate. Like Lil Baby's Mindset, I don't really like the album like that, but I appreciate that album for what it was. His fans loved it, and I felt like it was him getting into his bag, but it just wasn't my cup of tea. And POV ain't my cup. I mean POV Positions ain't my cup of tea. I love POV. Probably one of my favorite songs from this album. But Positions might not be my favorite album per se, but it was really a dope album. Like I feel like this was her getting into her R&B bag and making the music that she always wanted to make in her career. And I just loved it. I love everything about the album when it came down to like her just being vulnerable and being honest and just to talk about how she's in love. It wasn't my cup of tea, but I enjoy her just being honest at least and doing what she wants to do and be liberated. Like I love that about this album. And it has some good songs. POV, Positions, Motive with Doja Cat, 3435, which had a great video. With 3435, the video. Which was amazing. Yeah, look at it. Yeah, and the whole album was just so good. Love Language, Shut Up I didn't like Shut Up at first, but it's a good track to start the album. It was a little bit, it was interesting. Shout out to Post Malone as well. he kind of dominated this year too with Circles and other songs he had this year from his album that came out last year. But that's besides the point. And shout out to Roddy Rich too and Harry Styles because they dropped albums back in December, but their albums were able to like reflect on this year. Fine Line by Harry Styles and Roddy Rich. Sorry for being antisocial. Those was two albums that kind of, you know, based off this year too. So, but yeah, just like Magic's my jam off the table. It's cute. Wasn't for me. I like 6:30. Like the album Safety Net was really good. Was West Side kind of remind me of Aaliyah. Obvious POV, love that song. So this album was a great album. It's just wasn't my favorite, but a lot of songs on there did kind of resonated with me and grew on me as times went by. I love this album. I love this and this era haven't really been promoted that much, but we'll see after the Christmas season. We'll see what next year will do. Maybe she might get a Grammy performance for one of the songs of the album. I don't know. I'm thinking her next single might be POV because of the success it has for it being not for it being like a non-single, but it still has a lot of success. So I think it will do really well. But we'll see what happens, or if not, it might be the one with Doja because Doja's hot right now. Okay, so the next album I want to talk about though is Misunderstood. It's on my list. Misunderstood by Queen Naija. Misunderstood by Queen Naija. Because Queen Naija did her stuff with this album too. Because for a very long time we was waiting for Queen's album. I was just like, yo, when is Queen about to drop her album? Like it's been forever, and like she had the EP with the Karma and the Karma song and all the songs she had, the Karma and the Medicine, which went viral, and all the other songs she had on that album, Butterflies, Mama's Hands, and Bad Boy, which was about Clarence. But yeah, this album was just a lot. It was just such a good album. It had no skips, and she wanted to make an album that had no skips, and she did that very well. Because the intro song was about about her life and about what people said about her. When she was pregnant, and then drop the album in 2019. People were saying she was a one-hit wonder. She will never happen. And in this album, she kind of started the album out with Too Much to Say. Very good song. I'm Her with Kiana Lede was a great song too. Very great R&B collab. Pack Light was the first single. It was so beautiful. I love the orange and the ginger and a lot with this whole album. Lie to Me with Lil Durk was a bop. I love Dream with Lucky. What was it with Lucky Day? With Lucky Day, right? If I'm dreaming, let me sleep. Yep. Love Language was amazing. Without You with Russ, probably one of my favorites. Say What You Mean, a bop, Bitter with Mulatto. So she had a lot of great one time 5 seconds with what's his name with Mr. King of R&B according to him, Jarquez. Pressure, Pretend, a lot of beautiful. This whole album was just dope. So like shout out to Queen Naija for this album as well. Like she put her heart and soul into this album. This album was a great R&B album that really helped me, through like the little fall, October, November, and December. I've been listening to it a lot, and I love it. I love the whole album. I thought it was really great. A lot of great songs, no skips. One of the best R&B albums that came out this year, and she's very underrated too. People sleep on Queen Naija, but she is that girl. So we ain't gonna play with Queen Naija. I gotta go fast here. Shawn Mendes album came out too recently too, and it was really dope too. I gotta put that in there too. Shawn Mendes album, Wonder. I wonder what it's like to be loved by you. Yep, there we go, Shawn Mendes. There we go, Wonder. One was a great album too. A lot of good songs, a lot of good pop songs. Songs, he talked about being in love. Him and Camila Cabello's relationship was so cute. I just love this album. It was just such a great album too. Like he played his heart and soul into this album as well. Like you could tell he's in love. The instruments on this album was just dope. Like the production, everything, and he's in a place in his career where he's like making the music he wants to make too. Like he's happy, and the fact that he collabed with Justin on this album, where people always compare him to Justin when he first came out, was just so dope. He had Bieber on this album, so that was really dope, of him to do. And to have, and it was just a great pop album too. And hopefully next year it will reflect more into the next this upcoming year, and more singles will be promoted. Cause I don't know, the singles this year that he's putting out for this album ain't really sticking. But I know he did drop his album within the Christmas season time, so people are more in the holiday spirit. So we should see what happens. We should see if Wonder blows up or if Monster blows up, if any other song from the album blows up too. Cause he got a lot of single worthy songs on his album. I'm talking too fast. Slow down. Slow down the song. Yeah, baby, slow down the song. I just wanna feel your body right next to mine all night long, baby. Slow down. Speaking of slowing down, Selena Gomez released her album, the Rare album. I can't forget. I know a lot of people forget that album. That album came out. It was here. Rare, the album. She even did a deluxe version. And yeah, shout out to Selena Gomez on this amazing monumental album. I love Rare. I love Feel Me. Like the Look at Her Now, Lucy to Love Me. Like the whole album was really good. Crowded Room was a good song with Black. Baby, it's just me and you. Baby, it's just me and you. I want a boyfriend. Like I was cute. I like this whole album. Like this album was really dope too. Like people slept on it because I guess it wasn't like the typical pop. Selena was more vulnerable. Selena like in her bag. Sweeter place with Kid Cudi. She had Kid Cudi and Black and a lot of people on this album too. So shout out to Selena Gomez for a dope album. I feel like she really did, try hard to release an album that was honest to her. Same thing with Ari, same thing with Little Baby, same thing with, you know, Victoria. Like a lot of them did that this year. Gaga went back to her roots. So shout out to Selena Gomez and a Rare album, a very dope album too. I'm rushing because I have to be fast. Um, Shout out to Megan Trainor too. On her album she put out two this year too was really dope too. I love the song with Nicki, Nice to Meet Ya. I ain't forgetting about Megan Trainor. She did her thing. We ain't forgetting about Megan Trainor over here. Um, purr. Purr. Hold on. Hey, future husband, here's a few things you need to know if you wanna be my one and only. She had this album out. Where's this album called? Nice to meet you. Well, yeah, nice to meet you. But what's this album called? The song with Nicki, Nice to Meet You. But what's this album? Um, well, whatever it was called, it was a great album. It was called Treat Myself. Very great album. She did a good job on there too. A lot of great singing. But I feel like people just kind of like don't care about her no more. But Megan Trainor is still pretty much that girl. I feel like when it comes to pop girls, in the last couple of years, she was doing it for a good 2-3 years. So let's not sleep on Megan Trainor. But congratulations on a great album. I mean, it kind of flopped this year, but I mean, it still was a good album. I feel like me personally, I like this. So I had to add it up in here. Um, what else? 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 I know. So I did the Ariana Grande. I did the Ari, Sean, Gaga, Pop Smoke, Juice World, Megan, Selena. Um, Miley Cyrus too got to be in here as well too, cause Miley had a dope album as well too, and I just reacted to that too. I did 2 videos on that album. Uh, I feel like Miley really tapped into her rock era. Plastic Hearts was the album. Miley really tapped into her rock era. I feel like I said in my last video or the video before when I talked about her, this is like the best era on her since Bangers. I feel like rock is where she fits. Even though she grew up in a country house, but pop and rock is her thing too. And I love this album. It was a really great album as well. I love the collab with Dua Lipa, a very great pop collab. The female which is collabing this year, it had the Megan and Cardi, the Mulatto and Chloe and Halle with Doja. You had the Doja and City Girls and Megan, Miley Cyrus and Dua, Ariana Grande, Lady Gaga, Ari and Doja. Like it was a lot of Doja and Nicki, Beyonce and Megan. A lot of great collabs this year with the females. So shout out to them on a lot of like great collabs that they had this year. But her album was really good. And this our era fits her, and I'm happy to see what this album does next year after the Christmas season as well too. And we'll see a person that can top 10 too. Hopefully that happens with a little bit more promotion, probably the Grammys, the Billboard Awards performances, maybe next year VMAs if the album still have longevity to keep it going. But great album, Miley. Very great rock pop album. Um, Two more, and then we're going. Mulatto. Mulatto's album came out this year too. Won't forget her debut album. I didn't like it at first, but as times went by, it grew on me. I love In and Out with City Girls. Great video. She had great visuals this year, and she promoted her album very well too. Had a couple of performances, and she did the BZ Hip Hop Awards too. Beat from the South with Saweetie and Trina on the remix. He Said, She Said. A lot of great songs on this album. On God was another good video too. Great. She had a lot of great songs this year. She did the Artist on the Rise performance. She was in the WAP video. So like she's very much popping. Like she's very, very much popping. We ain't sleeping on Mulatto. She had a great album too. I love My Body, Spin It. The one with the song with 21 Savage, the song with 42 Doug. She had a lot of great songs on this album too. So, and she really brought the hood and gutter and ATL out. And this year she kind of, went into being the artist on the rise. Because, this year was Megan's year to shine. But, Mulatto's right behind her on the rise. And I feel like next year will be Mulatto's year. So I'm not sleeping on Mulatto. And I think, it's her year. So shout out to Mulatto too on a great album too. And hopefully it does well. Hopefully it gets bigger. Because I don't know. I feel like the singles are probably, they're sticking a little bit. But the album is just slept on too. I don't know what's going on. But Mulatto was doing her thing too. And I must give her credit. And shout out to Flo Milli on her mixtape. It ain't an album, but it's a mixtape. Oh, why is you here? So sickening. Look at this. Love May I. Love I Walk Around Like I'm That. B-Flow Mix. It was my song this year. And that will be in my list coming up. A Week. I love the SWV sample. And The Party was my jam too. Send That Addy. The whole album was just so dope. Very dope album. She got into her bag this year and she got a little bit of attention this year. And maybe next year she might pull out her debut album. Maybe it might go, I feel like she has this sound that the industry likes. And it was her EP, her mixtape was pretty dope too. So maybe she might get some recognition. I don't know. But she definitely put in the work and she definitely showed that she's ready to start eating and start, being mainstream and start taking over the charts and start doing stuff. So my eyes is on Flo Milli. My eyes is on Mulatto. Oh, no. Hold on. Before we go. Erica Banks too had a great year too, and shout out to Bree Runaway. I can't have this video be too long. Shout out to Bree Runaway too. She had a great project this year and a great video this year too, and she's on the rise too. So Bree Runaway too. Shout out to her. Shout out to Saweetie too for putting out great songs this year too. But we'll get into the song list as times go by. But let me just talk about let's just talk about about Erica Banks and her mixtape. And she got that notice from Nicki Minaj too. So shout out to Erica Banks too for that. But Erica Banks had her EP out or her mixtape out called Erica Banks. And she really had a great EP. Like this girl could really rap. She got bars. The EP had nothing but bars. Busted was the first song that kind of had people, catch her attention. Toot That, great sample. Hell Now's a bop. Trip Out was a good song too. Like the whole album, I love the Merry Christmas to You, Baby, Spirit in Me. Like she even did like a Christmas album, and she's a new artist too, so that's a little bit surprising. That's good too on Erica Banks' looks. She hopped on Nicki's Whole Lotta Choppers, Nicki and Sada Baby's Whole Lotta Choppers remix. She kind of hopped on it and did like a remix to it. And she just had a lot of like hood and gutter songs, and she was compared to Megan Thee Stallion. She had some controversy this year, but shout out to Erica Banks because she's a dope artist too, and people are sleeping on her too. And she did ride the hell out of that beat for because she thick all these girls. Another great song, and I think she's really dope. A lot of great, and she could even be very the one thing I like about that EP was she's very much versatile as well. She could do the pop, the rap, and then she could do the R&B stuff because she has songs like 20 Story Part 1, Part 2, and then she has songs like what's that one song she has too I love? I never wanna give it up. This is what I do for me. I ain't really used to me. Like, shout out to Erica Banks. She had a great run too, this year. She could be bigger, but I feel like for an artist who nobody already knew about, she kind of blew up a little bit this year, but she ain't on no Mulatto or Flo Milli level yet, but she's somewhere. She's getting somewhere. So shout out to Erica Banks. I had to throw her EP in there or her mixtape in there too. Shout out to Flo Milli, Erica Banks, Mulatto, Megan Trina, Selena Gomez, Miley Cyrus, Shawn Mendes, Ariana Grande, Chloe and Halle, The Weeknd, Little Baby. Who else I named in the video? Lady Gaga, Dua Lipa, Janae Aiko, Kelani. They all had great albums this year. These are the people that I was listening to heavy this year. I was listening to Megan too because I know everybody's like, "Where's Megan?" We'll get into that. I have another list that's coming. We'll talk about Megan and why I put her on that list. But you know, anyways, I will see you guys later, and I will see you guys on the next one. Goodbye.